Oh, is there anything that's safe to eat or drink? Well, we're told coffee has acrylamide, which is supposed to be a carcinogen. Bread contains gluten, and we're told that does all kinds of horrible things for us. We have peanuts. Well, peanuts can be contaminated with aflatoxins. Those are carcinogens. And all of that, you know what? It's enough to drive you to drink. Ah, beer. What a refreshing beverage it is. Flavored with hops. Well, problem with hops is that they contain compounds that are known as estrogens. 8-prenylnaringenin, that's a mouthful. Well, it turns out that when you expose the uterus of a rat to this compound, it makes that uterus behave as if it were exposed to an estrogen. And there are concerns about this. Why? Well, because estrogens are responsible for the so-called secondary female sex characteristics, the growth of breasts, the deposition of fatty tissue, etc. Indeed, in sex change operations, estrogen is used in order to start development of breasts. Sometimes you will even see hop extracts in products that are sold to women to supposedly increase their breast size. And yeah, there are things like that around, believe it or not. What do they have in common? They don't work. But it is true that hops do contain these estrogenic compounds. And you know, there are stories that way back when hops were actually picked by hand by women, that they would experience various kinds of symptoms because of the estrogenic compounds in hops. I think that's mostly anecdotal. So the question is, how realistic is all of this? It is true that there are compounds present in hops which do end up in beer, which in the laboratory can be demonstrated to have estrogenic effects. It is also true that hop extracts are sometimes used to treat menopausal symptoms, but in those cases, the concentration of these chemicals are huge. When it comes to beer, the amount is very, very small. I don't think that there needs to be any concern about it whatsoever. As far as those supplements that are sold in order to increase breast size because of estrogenic properties, that's total nonsense. The hop extracts that are used to counter the symptoms of menopause, they really haven't been shown to work all that well. And again, in high doses, estrogenic compounds can be a problem. We know that when doctors used to prescribe estrogens generally to women as they approach menopause, there was an increased risk of breast cancer. So now that is done in a much more careful fashion. But as far as the beer goes, all of those scares that you've heard about, that the hops in there contain estrogenic compounds, and that can cause man breasts to grow, or it can cause brewer's droop and all of this. No, there just is not enough of the estrogenic compound in there. So, cheers. The flavor of hops.